As we wrap up this introduction, I want you to know that you're in for something special. This isn't just a video, it's an experience, a chance to lose yourself in a story that's gonna make you feel alive. You're probably wondering what happens next, right? Does Emma ever find out who called her? Does Jake turn out to be the hero or the heartbreak? And what's the deal with that missed call? Was it really just a mistake, or was it something more? I'm not gonna spoil it yet, but I will leave you with this. The moment Emma finally listens to the voicemail that came with that missed call, her entire world shifts. One message, one voice, one secret that changes everything. What was in that voicemail, and why did it send Emma spiraling into a romance she never saw coming? You're gonna have to watch till the end to find out, my friend, because this is one story you won't want to miss. Right where we left off, with that mysterious voicemail lingering in the air like a melody you can't quite place, Emma's world is about to get a whole lot more complicated. You're still with me, right? I knew you would be, because there's something about this story. A missed call, a fleeting moment, a spark of something unexplainable. That's got you hooked, just like it's got me. Let's dive deeper into Emma's life, into the streets of Chicago where she's been navigating her late 20s with a mix of ambition, self-doubt, and a heart that's been bruised but still beats for something real. Emma's not the kind of person who believes in fairy tales or love at first sight. She's too practical for that. Too grounded in her routine of early morning coffee runs, late-night design projects, and the occasional girls' night out with her best friend Mia. But that missed call, that one little notification glowing on her phone screen at 2 a.m., is about to pull her into a story she never could have scripted. You know that feeling when life throws you something so unexpected it makes your stomach flip? That's where Emma's at right now, staring at her phone, wondering if she should listen to that voicemail or just delete it and move on with her life. And you, my friend, you're right there with her, wondering what's on the other side of that decision. This is where the story starts to unravel, where the threads of fate, love, and secrets begin to weave together, and I promise you, it's only gonna get juicier from here. Emma's life, up until this point, has been a balancing act. She's a graphic designer working for a small marketing firm in the heart of Chicago, where the skyline sparkles at night but the grind never seems to let up. She's good at her job, great, even, but there's a part of her that feels like she's just going through the motions, like she's designing someone else's dreams instead of chasing her own. Her apartment, a cozy one-bedroom in Wicker Park, is filled with sketches, half-finished canvases, and a vision board she hasn't touched in years. It's the kind of place that feels like home but also reminds her of everything she hasn't quite figured out yet. Emma's got a close-knit circle, her best friend Mia, a bubbly event planner who's always pushing her to get out there and date, and her coworker Sam, a sarcastic tech guy who's like the brother she never had. But there's a loneliness to Emma, a quiet ache she doesn't talk about, not even to Mia. Maybe you know that feeling, that sense that something's missing, even when everything looks fine on the outside. That's where Emma's heart is when she sees that missed call from an unknown number, no name attached, just a Chicago area code and a voicemail that's waiting to be heard. She doesn't know it yet, but that call is about to crack open her carefully curated life, exposing secrets she didn't even know she was keeping. Now let's talk about Jake because he's the other half of this equation, and oh boy, does he bring some intrigue to the table. Jake's a 30-year-old photographer who's been drifting through life, chasing stories through his camera lens. He's got this effortless charm, the kind that makes people stop and stare. A messy mop of dark hair, eyes that seem to see right through you, and a smile that's equal parts trouble and warmth. But there's a shadow to Jake, a weight he carries from a past he doesn't talk about. He's been in Chicago for a year now, renting a loft in Logan Square, where he spends his days capturing the city's raw, unfiltered beauty and his nights wrestling with memories he'd rather forget. Jake's not the kind of guy who stays in one place too long, but something about Chicago, or someone, has kept him here. You're probably wondering how he ties into that missed call, aren't you? I'm not gonna spill all the beans just yet, but let's just say Jake's got a connection to Emma that goes deeper than either of them realize. There's a reason his number showed up on her phone, a reason that's tangled up in choices made years ago, and it's gonna take some unraveling to figure out what it all means. You're feeling that suspense, right? That itch to know more? Good, because that's exactly where I want you. Here's where things get interesting. That missed call wasn't just a random dial or a telemarketer's mistake. It was a moment years in the making, a collision of two lives that were always meant to cross but never quite did. Emma, curious but cautious, finally presses play on that voicemail, her heart pounding as she holds the phone to her ear. The voice on the other end is low, familiar in a way that sends chills down her spine, but she can't quite place it. Emma, it's me. I know it's been a while, but I need to talk to you. It's important. That's all the message says before it cuts off, leaving her with more questions than answers. Who is this guy? Why does his voice feel like a memory she can't quite grasp? And why, of all nights, did he call now? Emma's mind races, pulling her back to her college days at Northwestern, where she was a starry-eyed art major with big dreams and a heart full of hope. There was someone back then, someone who left a mark on her, but life pulled them apart before anything could really happen. Could this be him? Or is it someone else entirely? You're probably shouting at the screen right now, telling Emma to call him back, to dig deeper, to figure this out. And trust me, she wants to, but she's scared, because opening that door means facing parts of herself she's kept locked away for years. Meanwhile, across town, Jake's pacing his loft, his phone in hand, staring at the call log that shows he reached out to Emma. Why did he do it? What made him dial her number after all this time? That's the mystery he's wrestling with, and it's not just about a missed call. It's about a promise he made to himself, a promise tied to a moment from his past that he's never quite let go of. Jake's got his own subplot brewing, one that involves a leather-bound journal he keeps hidden in his desk, filled with photographs and notes that hint at a life he left behind. There's a name in that journal, scrawled in ink that's faded but never forgotten, and it's tied to Emma in ways that even Jake doesn't fully understand yet. You're probably starting to see the layers here, the way this story isn't just about two people but about the ghosts they carry, the choices they've made, and the moments that keep pulling them back together. It's the kind of drama you can't look away from, the kind that's trending on YouTube because it's real, it's raw, and it's got that heart-pounding mix of romance and mystery that keeps you clicking for more.
As Emma grapples with whether to return the call, another layer of intrigue creeps in. Mia, her best friend, notices something's off during their weekly brunch at a bustling cafe in Lincoln Park. Emma's quieter than usual, her eyes darting to her phone every few minutes, and Mia's not one to let things slide. "Spill it, Em," she says, leaning across the table, her voice a mix of concern and excitement. Emma hesitates, but finally tells Mia about the voicemail, about the voice that's haunting her, about the feeling that this call is more than just a random moment. Mia, ever the romantic, is all in. She's already spinning theories about soulmates and second chances, pushing Emma to dig into this mystery. But there's something Mia's not telling Emma, something about her own life that's starting to unravel. Mia's been keeping a secret of her own, one that involves a guy she met at an event she planned last month, a guy who's got ties to Jake's world in ways she doesn't even realize yet. You see where this is going, don't you? The connections are tightening, the stakes are rising, and the web of relationships is getting more tangled by the minute. You're probably wondering how all these pieces fit together, and I'm right there with you, itching to see how it all plays out. The tension in Emma's life is building, and it's not just about the voicemail anymore. Her job's getting intense, her boss is piling on new projects, and there's talk of a promotion that could change everything. But with that comes pressure, the kind that makes her question whether she's even on the right path. Add to that the missed call, the voice that's stirring up old memories, and the nagging feeling that she's missed something important, and Emma's starting to feel like her life is a puzzle with too many missing pieces. Across town, Jake's dealing with his own demons. A cryptic message from an old friend has him digging through that journal, reliving moments he thought he'd buried. There's a photograph in there, one that captures a moment from years ago, and it's got Emma's face in it. Why does he still have it? Why can't he let it go? These are the questions that keep him up at night, the ones that pushed him to make that call in the first place. You're feeling the suspense building, aren't you? That delicious mix of curiosity and anticipation that makes you want to keep watching to see how these two lives are going to collide. And just when you think you've got a handle on it, something shifts. Emma's phone buzzes again, another call from the same number, and this time, she's not sure she can ignore it. What happens when she picks up? What secrets are waiting on the other end of the line? You're gonna have to keep watching to find out, my friend, because this story's only just beginning to unravel. You're still here, aren't you? I knew you'd stick around because this story's got you in its grip, just like it's got me, and we're about to turn the heat up even higher. Emma's standing in her dimly lit apartment, her thumb hovering over the call button, that mysterious number staring back at her like a dare. The voicemail from last night is still echoing in her head, that voice, familiar, urgent, and tugging at memories she's buried deep. She's on the verge of calling back, her heart racing with a mix of fear and curiosity when her phone buzzes again, not with a call, but with a text from the same number. "Meet me at the Bean at midnight. Please, Emma, it's about us." Us. The word hits her like a freight train, sending her mind spiraling back to a fleeting moment from her college days, a moment she thought she'd left behind. Who is this person, and why do they think there's an us worth revisiting? You're probably yelling at the screen right now, urging Emma to go, to figure out what this is all about, and I'm right there with you, my friend. This is where the story takes a sharp turn, where the stakes climb higher, and an unexpected twist shakes everything we thought we knew. Buckle up, because this missed call is about to lead Emma and you into a whirlwind of romance, secrets, and a truth that's gonna leave your jaw on the floor. Let's rewind just a bit to keep you in the loop. Emma's been wrestling with this missed call for days now, her life in Chicago feeling like it's teetering on the edge of something big. Her job's been a pressure cooker, with her boss hinting at a promotion that could mean a corner office, but also more sleepless nights. Her best friend Mia's been pushing her to dive into this mystery, but Mia's got her own drama brewing. A guy she met at an event, Lucas, who's been texting her nonstop, dropping cryptic hints about his life that make her wonder if he's too good to be true. Across town, Jake's in his loft, his journal open to that photograph of Emma from years ago, his fingers tracing the edges as he battles memories of a promise he couldn't keep. That call he made to Emma wasn't just a whim, it was a desperate move, driven by a letter he found tucked in the back of his journal, one he didn't write but can't stop reading. You're feeling the tension, right? The way every piece of this puzzle is clicking into place, but there's still so much we don't know. And just when you think you've got a handle on it, the story throws a curveball that's going to make you rethink everything. Here's where it gets wild. Emma, against her better judgment, decides to go to the Bean at midnight. It's a chilly Chicago night, the kind where the wind cuts through your jacket and the city feels alive with secrets. She's standing there under the giant silver sculpture, her breath visible in the air, scanning the sparse crowd for a face she might recognize. Her heart's pounding, half expecting to see someone from her past, maybe that guy from college who broke her heart, or maybe someone entirely new. But then, out of the shadows, steps Jake. Not the Jake she vaguely remembers from a party years ago, but a Jake who looks different, older, with a weight in his eyes that makes her pause. He's holding something, a small, worn envelope with her name on it, written in handwriting she swears she's seen before. "Emma," he says, his voice low and shaky, "I didn't want to do this, but you need to know the truth." Before she can respond, he hands her the envelope, and inside is a letter that flips her world upside down. It's not from Jake, it's from her older brother, Ethan, who disappeared from her life 5 years ago after a fight that left their family fractured. The letter mentions Jake, a promise, and a secret that ties them all together in a way Emma never could have imagined. You're probably gasping right now, just like I was when this twist hit me, because this isn't just about a missed call anymore. It's about a family torn apart, a love that never had a chance, and a mystery that's been hiding in plain sight. Let's dive into that twist, because it's a game changer. Ethan, Emma's brother, was always the wild card in her family, charming, impulsive, and always chasing dreams that seemed just out of reach. 5 years ago, he vanished after a heated argument with their parents, leaving Emma with a hole in her heart and a million unanswered questions. She spent years trying to move on, convincing herself he was gone for good, but this letter suggests he's been closer than she thought. It talks about a night in college, a night Emma barely remembers, where Ethan, Jake, and Emma were all together, caught in a moment that changed everything. Jake, it turns out, wasn't just a
random guy at a party. He was Ethan's best friend, the one who promised to look out for Emma if anything ever happened to him. But something did happen, something neither Jake nor Emma fully understands yet, and it's tied to that missed call, that voicemail, and the letter now trembling in Emma's hands. You're probably wondering what the letter says, what secret it's hiding, and why Jake waited until now to reach out. I'm not going to spill it all just yet, because the suspense is what keeps this story so addictive, but I will tell you this. The truth is bigger than Emma, bigger than Jake, and it's going to force them to confront things they've both been running from. Meanwhile, Mia's subplot is heating up, adding another layer to this tangled web. She's been texting Lucas, the guy she met at her event, and things are getting serious fast. Too fast, if you ask her. Lucas is charming, with a smile that could melt ice, but there's something about him that doesn't add up. He's been dropping hints about knowing people in Chicago's art scene, including a photographer who sounds suspiciously like Jake. Mia, ever the optimist, brushes it off as coincidence, but when she mentions Lucas to Emma during a late-night phone call, Emma's radar goes off. Could Lucas be connected to Jake, to Ethan, to this whole mystery? The thought sends a chill down Emma's spine, because if Lucas is involved, then Mia's heart might be on the line too. You see how this is all coming together, don't you? The way every character, every choice, every secret is weaving into a story that's equal parts romance, drama, and mystery. It's the kind of content that's blowing up on YouTube right now. Heart-pounding, emotional, and packed with twists that keep you clicking for more. The stakes are higher than ever now. Emma's standing there at the bean, the letter in her hand, Jake's eyes searching hers for some kind of understanding. She wants to ask him a million questions. About Ethan, about the letter, about why he called her after all these years, but the words catch in her throat. Jake's not giving her much to work with either. He's holding back, his own fears keeping him from spilling everything. And then, just as Emma's about to demand answers, her phone buzzes again. Not with a call, but with a photo sent from the same number. It's a blurry image of Ethan, standing in front of a Chicago landmark, time-stamped just a week ago. Emma's heart stops. Is Ethan still in the city? Is he watching her? And why is Jake the one delivering this bombshell? The questions are piling up, the tension is unbearable, and the truth feels just out of reach. You're probably on the edge of your seat, desperate to know what happens next, and I'm right there with you, my friend. This missed call has opened a door to a past Emma thought was closed, and it's leading her toward a romance, a family secret, and a truth that could change everything. What's in that letter? And what does Ethan want Emma to know? You're gonna have to keep watching, because this story's about to explode into a climax you won't see coming. You've made it this far, my friend, and I'm so glad you're still here, because we're about to hit the peak of this roller coaster ride, where every heartbeat, every secret, and every question from that missed call comes crashing together in a climax that's gonna leave you speechless. Emma's standing under the shimmering lights of the bean, the chilly Chicago night wrapping around her like a cloak, clutching that letter from her long-lost brother Ethan, with Jake's intense gaze holding her in place. The photo on her phone, the one showing Ethan in Chicago just a week ago, has her head spinning, her heart pounding with a mix of hope and dread. Is her brother really back? Why is Jake the one delivering this bombshell? And what does this have to do with the voicemail that started it all? You're probably feeling the same rush of anticipation I am, desperate for answers but loving the suspense that's kept us hooked. As we dive into the climax of A Missed Call Led to an Unmissable Romance, I'm gonna tie up the loose ends, unravel the mysteries, and throw in one final twist that'll have you talking about this story for days. This is the moment you've been waiting for, so let's dive in and see how Emma and Jake's world comes together, or falls apart. Emma's hands tremble as she opens the letter, her eyes scanning Ethan's familiar handwriting, each word pulling her back to the family they used to be before everything fell apart. The letter reveals that 5 years ago, after their fight, Ethan didn't just disappear. He got caught up in a dangerous crowd, making choices he couldn't undo. He left to protect Emma and their parents, believing his absence was the only way to keep them safe. But the letter isn't just a confession. It's a plea. Ethan writes about a promise he made to Jake, his best friend, to watch over Emma if anything happened to him. Jake, torn by guilt and loyalty, kept that promise by staying in Chicago, watching from a distance, never sure how to approach her until now. The missed call, the voicemail, the meeting at the bean, it was all Ethan's doing, orchestrated through Jake, because Ethan's in trouble, deeper than ever, and he needs Emma's help to get out. The photo was his way of proving he's close, but it's also a warning. He's being watched, and reaching out to Emma could put her in danger too. You're probably feeling the weight of this, just like Emma is, as she realizes her brother's alive but trapped in a life she never imagined. The stakes have never been higher, and the romance brewing between her and Jake is now tangled with a family secret that could change everything. Jake, standing there with his hands shoved in his pockets, finally breaks his silence. He tells Emma about the night Ethan disappeared, how they were at a party in college, the same one where Jake first met her. Emma was a fleeting presence, a smile across the room, but she left a mark on Jake that he couldn't shake. Ethan, seeing the spark, made Jake promise to look out for her if he ever couldn't. That promise has haunted Jake ever since, especially after Ethan got involved with a shady art dealer who used his charm to pull him into a world of forgeries and debts. Jake's been carrying the guilt of not stopping Ethan, and that missed call was his attempt to make things right, to bring Emma into the fold so they could save her brother together. The chemistry between Emma and Jake, which has been simmering since that midnight meeting, explodes into something deeper now. A bond forged not just by attraction but by shared pain and a desperate need to fix the past. You can feel it, can't you? That electric pull between them, the kind that makes your heart ache for a love that's messy but real. But just as they're about to make a plan to find Ethan, Emma's phone buzzes again, this time with a call from Mia, her voice frantic. It's Lucas. He knows about Ethan, and he's not who I thought he was. Here's where Mia's subplot collides with the main story, pulling us into the climax. Mia, who's been falling hard for Lucas, the charming guy from her event, has just discovered he's not just a random suitor. Lucas is connected to the same art dealer Ethan got tangled with, and he's been using Mia to get closer to Emma, knowing she's the key to finding Ethan. Mia's devastated, her trust shattered, but she's not backing down. She's on her way to the
Bean, determined to help Emma and confront Lucas. When she arrives, the scene is chaos. Emma and Jake are arguing about whether to go to the police or track Ethan themselves, and Lucas shows up, his charming facade gone, replaced by a cold edge that makes Emma's skin crawl. He demands the letter, claiming it holds proof of a deal Ethan made that could ruin them all. Jake steps in, his protective instincts kicking in, and for a moment, it looks like things might turn violent. But Emma, finding a strength she didn't know she had, takes charge. She refuses to hand over the letter, instead using it to negotiate a meeting with Ethan, demanding Lucas arrange it or risk exposure. You're on the edge of your seat, right? This is the moment where everything converges. Emma's courage, Jake's loyalty, Mia's heartbreak, and Ethan's shadowy world, building to a climax that's as emotional as it is thrilling. The resolution comes fast but feels earned. Lucas, cornered, agrees to set up the meeting, and within hours, Emma and Jake are at an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Chicago, where Ethan's been hiding. The reunion is gut-wrenching. Ethan's thinner, his eyes haunted, but he's still the brother Emma loves. He explains everything, the art dealer, the debts, the threats that kept him away. He sent the letter and the photo through Jake, hoping Emma could help him disappear for good this time, but seeing her now, he realizes he can't keep running. Together, they devise a plan to turn the tables on the dealer, using the letter as leverage to expose his operation to the authorities. Jake's photography skills come in handy, documenting evidence that seals the dealer's fate, while Mia, still reeling from Lucas's betrayal, uses her event planning connections to tip off the police anonymously. The dealer's arrested, Ethan's free, and Emma's family, though still fractured, has a chance to heal. The romance between Iman and Jake blooms into something real, a slow-burn love built on trust and shared scars. You're probably smiling now, feeling that warmth of a story coming full circle, but I promised you one final twist, and here it is. Just as Emma and Jake are leaving the warehouse, hand in hand, ready to start anew, Ethan pulls Emma aside and hands her a small, sealed envelope. "Don't open it until you're ready," he says, his voice heavy with meaning. Back in her apartment, with Jake asleep on her couch and the city quiet outside, Emma opens it. Inside is a drawing, a sketch she made in college, of her and Ethan laughing together, with Jake in the background unnoticed. On the back, in Ethan's handwriting, are the words, "He loved you even then. Don't let him go." Emma's breath catches, realizing Jake's feelings for her started long before that missed call, a truth Ethan saw all those years ago. The twist hits like a lightning bolt. Jake wasn't just keeping a promise. He's been in love with her since that night in college, carrying that secret through every choice, every photograph, every moment that led them here. You're probably in awe right now, just like I am, because this isn't just a story about a missed call. It's about love that waits, family that endures, and the courage to seize second chances. The takeaway? Life's little moments, like a missed call or a forgotten sketch, can lead to something unmissable if you're brave enough to answer. Thank you for watching, my friend. This story's for you, for every time you took a chance on love, on family, on yourself. Keep believing in the magic of those moments, because you never know where they'll lead.